How have we not seen this musical, by the way?
That's a good question. That's something we'll have to discuss on the podcast. I've listened to some of the music. It sucks.
Howdy, it's Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, and this is episode 131 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City and Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Laskin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
All the casinos are open. That's good.
Indeed. Even the Borgata.
Yes. Still, the numbers across the country, not great.
I must say, I got an offer from Horseshoe for a pretty nice-looking jacket. So I might go up there in a couple weekends and pick that up.
Is it satin?
It's not satin, unfortunately. It's not quite as nice looking as the one you bought me. It is...
Is it denim? I would feel really good about it if it was denim. It's probably like a windbreaker or something.
Yes, North End soft shell jacket in carbon heather, but it looks nice.
You should get it.
Yeah.
You'd wear a nice horseshoe jacket around.
Ridiculous buttons on the neck. It's quite a thing. I will send you the picture of it.
I want to see it. I want to have it.
Copy image.
You don't need to send it to me right this second. We
can
it has to be now. Record a podcast.
You must know. Come on. Looks nice, right?
This is not a visual medium, Kyle.
Looks nice.
It's very understated.
I think it's great.
But it says Caesar's Awards on it. I thought it would say Horseshoe, Baltimore.
No, I don't care.
I feel much better about it if it said Horseshoe, Baltimore on it.
It's understated, though. It's not even that easy to see the Caesar's Rewards.
That's true.
So we'll see. I might go pick that up.
It's just a jacket that you could wear.
Which is exactly what I want. I don't want horrific satin, double-sided Treasure Island and Mirage jackets.
Purple on one side, or pink, whatever
wear.
It was. Oh, man, I would wear that everywhere. Send it back to me. I'll wear it.
Okay. Next time I see you, I'll bring it. It will be all yours.
Dave would wear it. Send it to Dave.
I doubt it. Mm. All right. So what happened in 1931?
A George and Ira Gershwin musical called Of Thee I Sing debuted on Broadway on December 26th. And you may be saying, what does this have to do with Atlantic City? Craig and Kyle, Atlantic City podcasters. The answer is in a description of the musical from Gershwin.com, which I will read right now. John P. Wintergreen runs for president on a, quote, love platform, promising to marry the winner of a beauty contest in Atlantic City. I wonder where they got that idea. And to woo her through all 48 states. The candidate cannot make good on his promise as he falls for Mary Turner, the pageant coordinator, because of her delectable corn muffins. I don't know if that's a euphemism.
I don't think so.
Victorious, Wintergreen's presidency is almost brought down by Diana Devereaux, the devious Diana Devereaux.
Mother of Mike Devereaux, Orioles superstar.
I'm sure. The spurned pageant winner and France, after all. Diana is an illegitimate daughter of an illegitimate son of an illegitimate nephew of Napoleon. That's the kind of plot that you can only get in Broadway musicals. Mary saves the day, however, by sensibly giving birth to twins in the White House, creating the perfect distraction from her husband's political troubles. There's a lot going on. The only thing that matters is a beauty contest in Atlantic City.
Indeed.
This was 10 years into the Miss America pageant, so, by then that was already a thing. Remarkably, this was the first musical to win a Pulitzer Prize for drama, and 41 years after it debuted, it aired on CBS, televised version on CBS, with Archie Bunker himself, Carol O'Connor, and Cloris Leachman as the leads. And that is 1931 in sort of Atlantic City related news. There was nothing else that I could find about 1931. I thought that was okay, though.
Yeah, it's fine. Probably a lot of sad people that had no money because of the Depression.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Depression, Prohibition. It's not great.
Yeah, nothing was good.
Any thoughts on this musical? Are you rushing out
to get... I just have no thoughts whatsoever, other than it sounds horrific. And
do you like the musicals, Kyle? You're a big fan of the musicals?
I was... Forced is maybe a strong word, but I was convinced to watch Hamilton, and it was all right. And I think that is considered widely by even people who dislike musicals as the best musical. And
I see.
It was fine.
I like me some musicals. I should go out and find this here Of Thee I Sing musical somewhere.
What's your Hamilton review then?
I've never seen it.
Oh.
I listened to the music. I did not like it, but I've heard that you have to actually see the play.
I'm glad I saw it once. That's my feedback.
All right. This episode's going in a very not Atlantic City direction, which is fine because there's nothing Atlantic City related to talk about.
Indeed. So there is a state bill that would permanently allow booze on the boardwalk, and it's passed. So it's just awaiting Governor Phil Murphy's signature. Sounds good, right?
You'd think that he would just sign it. There's no real reason for it not to go through, except it's New Jersey, and you never know what's going to happen with politics. I would hope that this is going to be done, and next episode we can come on and happily say that booze on the boardwalk is permanent, which we've been clamoring for. I'm going to claim a victory on this. I'm going to say we were major drivers in this change because of our massive following and how much we've pushed for it over the past 5 years.
Yeah, I think that you can chalk this one up to do for a win.
Yeah, claim that W. We've claimed a win.
Yeah.
What do we do for now?
More wins.
Probably.
Of course.
So much winning.
Yes. I mean, when you've done as much losing as we have before this, we are continually due for a win, no matter how much winning we do before it.
That's true.
Our good friend, Justin S., podcast superstar, posted in the Facebook group a very long post, which is probably the usual for him, talking about all of the outdoor dining that he went to in Atlantic City over the last, week or so?
Yeah, he was in AC for a week. And yeah, I think he just got back a few days ago and posted in the Facebook group a very nice review of pretty much everywhere he went to. I was following his Instagram, and every day he had multiple new pictures of different places that he was eating outdoors. And I was thinking, like, how long are you there, for one? And are you really going to go to literally every outdoor dining establishment in Atlantic City? Which I appreciate the research. I mean, it's amazing to actually see get reviews of all these places. So
there's no higher praise that I can give something like that than to say, when I was reading his post, I was like, maybe I'm not doing the right thing in Atlantic City. Because it sounded cool, and the way he laid it all out. But it came to my senses shortly thereafter. I'm like, nah, I'm going to keep going to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever.
Keep going to Ruby's Dinette and then going straight back to the craps table.
But no, it's a really great post. I do recommend those of you who are in the Facebook group to read it, and for those of you who aren't in the Facebook group to join the Facebook group and then read it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hit some of the highlights and lowlights. I don't think he mentioned anything that we have not mentioned as having food. He said Nero's Starlight Dining did a really good job of making it feel special, which is cool. Harry's at Bally's, not great service, which has been our knock on it forever. Ruth's Chris, he said was very good. And he also went to View multiple times, and he is the sole reviewer of the View bar on the rooftop of the Claridge that I've ever heard. And I know he's always been a fan and continues to have glowing reviews of it. So definitely I'll link to the post and go check that out. And so if you're, like you said, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, you're going to have to join if you want to read that.
That's right.
We got to get those numbers up so that we can have some sway in Atlantic City.
We could start doing big slot pools. We can make a bunch of money. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Oh, he did say Doc's has a ton of outdoor seating, like almost as much outdoor seating as they had indoor seating. So that was cool. And that they bring the excellent service outside.
Complimented the view of gorgeous Atlantic Avenue, as you must.
Yeah, the first time I went there, my wife and I were leaving, and we were like, we should probably get a cab. And the hostess was like, you should definitely get a cab. And more than that, you have to wait inside until it comes because I will not let you stand outside. It's like, oh, okay. Fine then.
All right.
Seems totally walkable to me. But anyways.
It's not very far from, the all the shops and everything.
Yeah. Sugar Factory, not a fan, by the way, he said. Shockingly.
Yeah, I don't find that terribly hard to believe.
Sugar Factory is like right in my wheelhouse of someplace that I'm like, I really want to try it just because it's like so in your face.
Like a 5-year-old though. It seems like something you would actually enjoy.
Yeah, but there's like no way the drinks are good.
No.
Because they come out in a fishbowl with like gummy bears in them.
But you would just eat all the cupcakes. And...
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd eat all that junk. It would be amazing. So we've talked about outdoor dining. We've talked about booze on the boardwalk. So I wanted to revisit Tom L's question from the coronavirus mailbag episode, which was episode 126. He asked, what is one thing that will change due to the pandemic that will make AC better? And we sort of like hemmed and hawed on it on the actual episode. But here we've been given a couple things, right? Like booze on the boardwalk seems like it's happening permanently. And then outdoor dining, I know David Danzis in the Press of Atlantic City wrote an article talking about how this could become a more regular thing, and how, obviously casinos have always tried to keep everyone in the casino, and this is sort of showing them that there's an attraction of, this is a beach town and people want to be outside, and it creates this experience that you can't really get in other casino places, and so it may be something that is kept longer term. I'm not sure how when they're using things like pool decks and the actual boardwalk itself, like they would have to figure out some more permanent options for that, but what do you think? Are those positive long-term changes that have come out of this?
Of course. I mean, there's nothing not to like. I mean, it seems like they're two changes that are particularly symbiotic, right? They work well together. You can sit outside, enjoy your brew, take it with you maybe when you leave, depending on, I guess, if it's a can or a glass. You probably wouldn't appreciate it as much if you take glass with you, but no, I think it's good. It's anything to get you outside, especially it's a nice beach town, right? It's kind of what they want. I actually have a question for you, because in the Facebook group, there's been a lot of discussion about how things are going in Atlantic City, and it seems like the general consensus is that, like, things are not as pleasant as they usually are now. Like, more troublemaking on the boardwalk and stuff. Like, how much stock do you put into that?
So I don't know about troublemaking on the boardwalk. There has been several incidents inside casinos.
Yeah, there was a shooting or a stabbing or whatever in Tropicana, yeah.
It was like a robbery and a stabbing. So one thing I'll put more stock in is that it's been reported everywhere that the boardwalk is the dirtiest that people have ever seen it.
Right.
And I think that probably a lot of that has to do with that there's all this outdoor dining, right? Like now you've got all these people eating outside and stuff is just like probably blowing off people's tables. It's a beach town. There's the ocean's right there. It's probably pretty breezy.
Well, I've also heard that they're not emptying the trash cans nearly as often as they need to. And they're all just like have huge mounds of trash, like, in the circle around them.
Yeah. So, I'm optimistic that they'll figure that stuff out as time goes on. I mean, it's obviously a big change to now where everybody who's eating is eating outside, and then maybe they're, grabbing their Joe Rock Cafe slice to go and
as you have to
dumping 80% of the slice in the garbage where it belongs and having all this extra garbage in the trash cans, like you said. So I think that that's probably a fixable problem. I think as long as there is a bunch of outdoor dining, you're going to have more of that than there used to be. Because I feel like the boardwalk always used to be pretty reliably clean.
Yeah, no, I've never really had problems with the boardwalk as much as other people have, because I know there have been a lot of complaints about it throughout time, but it just seemed like the complaints had picked up quite a bit, recently when the casinos reopened.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go and see, but I do wonder, like, everybody's been kind of locked inside for months, and is it like a full moon type of thing where people finally get out and they're all giddy and angry, or some combination of those things? And more likely to get into trouble, but hopefully not related to booze on the boardwalk. I refuse to associate those two things. No one has ever gotten drunk and rowdy. So my other question, though, how big of an improvement is it? Like, people have always said, oh, I just drink on the boardwalk anyway. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is. It's nice that it's legal, but I thought it was already legal and stuff like that. Like, how big of an improvement are these two things, do you think? Do they actually, like, change Atlantic City at all?
For most people, probably not, but for me, certainly yes.
What I'm sort of wondering is, does this change almost the sense that somebody gets who goes to Atlantic City who's not just going to gamble, which I know, like, most people who go to Atlantic City are gamblers. It really caters to that market way more than Vegas does. The percentage of people who go to Atlantic City just to gamble is much higher than the percentage of people who go to Vegas just to gamble. But if you're going to experience other things, and now you've got this option to walk around with a cocktail on the boardwalk or to walk around with a beer on the boardwalk, and you're eating dinner outside, you're going to feel much more like it's this nice beach town, right? And so, we ate outside at a Back Bay Ale House, right? And it was really good, and it was a totally different experience for us, just sitting out there, dark, looking at the casinos all lit up. And, they've had that at a few places. They've had it at Landshark, obviously has patio seat, like the whatever deck seating that's very popular. Yeah, I think it could sort of like change the vibe in a way that is pretty meaningful, but maybe that's overstating it.
I don't think so. I mean, I think, like I said, most people, I don't think they're going to notice. Most people just go and stay in a casino and don't really leave.
Yeah.
But for the people who do move around, I think it's going to be much better. Assuming they make all the other, there probably should be slightly higher police presence on the boardwalk, etc. with us, but, assuming they do the right things that need to be done, which is probably maybe assuming too much, but...
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like there are places, like Hard Rock especially, that's using that old Scores space. Like, they've got the space to do this kind of stuff. The places where they're really using temporary, spa decks and pool decks, maybe they're going to repurpose portions of that. I don't know how much the Bally's spa deck is really used, right? Like maybe they decide that this is more worthwhile in the long term. And by they, I mean Twin River Holdings, right? Since they're going to be the ones dealing with this in the long term. But yeah, I'd be really interested to see if this becomes a little bit more permanent. And you hopefully will start to get some signs of that based on actually seeing the more permanence in these things rather than just the temporary setups that they all have now. Although at this rate, it seems like indoor dining's never coming back to New Jersey, so maybe they're going to make it permanent regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the booze and on boardwalk and outdoor dining?
It was good for you to revisit this, though. I think it's totally righteous and a good thing to bring up, given that we probably didn't have too much positive to say back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how much our sort of opinions of all of this have changed over the course of whatever 4 or 5 months as we learn more. But
4 or 5 decades, it seemed like.
It's been forever.
Yes. So we have another listener question, this time from Angela. She says, I love your podcast, as well you should, and have been listening to you guys for at least 3 years now. I hope you guys continue to do the podcast, even with your busy lives. I was wondering when your next AC trip would be. Sometime in 2020? Would you try to make a trip out there together?
It's tough. I keep thinking I just have no idea when it's going to be. And as much as I would like to say hell yes to 2020, the COVID numbers and like what New Jersey is saying is not helping with that, right? Like right now, you would have to quarantine for 14 days.
Right.
If you went to Atlantic City, like you would technically not really be allowed
theoretically,
to do anything.
I would have to quarantine for 14 days. In actuality, I don't think anybody would be enforcing that at the casinos.
No.
I very much doubt they would be like, excuse me, sir, you cannot check in.
With your Maryland ID.
Yes.
You would have to like sign, I know at Borgata you have to sign something saying, I'm abiding by the quarantine when you check in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're tracking your movement the entire time. No, I don't think that's happening. I don't think there's much incentive for the casinos.
No, there's no incentive. Being good citizens, Craig. That is their incentive. What more incentive could you need?
That's true. Certainly not money. Certainly no financial incentives.
Someone called in, this was a few episodes ago, to You Can Bet on That, and said that they checked into, it was either Mohegan or Foxwoods, and they had the same thing where if you were not in Connecticut, you technically weren't allowed to check in, so he had checked in with his passport instead of his driver's license. Yeah.
So let's take that out of the equation. Let's say assuming that, a month from now or 2 weeks from now, Maryland gets lifted off the list, the restriction list. How soon are you back in AC, realistically?
It's just, there's so many moving parts. It's really hard to say. I'd like to go back.
What are the big moving parts? What has to happen? Kids in school?
Certainly if kids aren't in school, that would make it seem like going to AC isn't a very good idea.
Right. Schools are not open. It's not safe for kids to be in school, but I'll be at the casino.
I mean, I will say that, like, that's not a totally scientific decision at this point, I feel like, unfortunately, for everyone, especially parents. I think it's been politicized a little bit, like the kids in school question. Yeah, I don't know. Not yet. Not yet is the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic about, like, November, December. It seems at the moment like my kids will be in school and daycare in the fall.
Yeah. My kids are in daycare right now. So, like, frankly, if you, like, want to talk about it, like, it's probably no more risky than sending my kids to daycare. I mean, then on the other hand, I send my kids to daycare so I can work, which is, probably more beneficial than going to AC.
We have a podcast. We haven't incorporated it in
true.
any way. But this is work. This is important stuff that we're doing.
I hear if we were to incorporate, we could have a lot of tax write-offs, Greg, and that would be a good thing.
Yes. All those shirts, we could write them off for one thing.
Good Lord. The biggest tax write-off.
Wouldn't even get us to the minimum.
No.
The other question is familial obligations, not just kids going in school, but like, what would your wife say about you being like, hey, I'm off to AC next weekend?
It's tough. I mean, I've seen friends a couple times in a way that she probably really hasn't, and I don't think it's totally appreciated, so...
Yeah.
It's a tough situation right now. I would like to be optimistic. I'm going to say that I'm going to try for 2020, but I can't guarantee anything.
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably late 2020 if it happens, and it would need like some feeling of a return to normalcy, which we'll get to in the Boardwalk Empire episode.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, not like real normalcy, but like my wife back at work in some way.
No, that's true because she works at the schools, right?
Right, so that like feels reasonable. That feels like it's not complete hell and the kids in school in a way so that it actually feels like it would be not totally unreasonable for me to go, just from the standpoint of like not putting this so much burden on other people in my family. Like that's the bigger thing to me than the like, is it safe or not? Like I'm fairly confident about my abilities to, you know, wear a mask and keep distance. I'm mostly a machine player anyway.
Right.
Which is probably better. I also don't have that much problem just not playing if there's not a machine that I feel is, you know, distance enough or whatever.
Fair. Well, we'll see. I haven't been in a casino. Like I said, I may really try to go to Horseshoe next weekend, but we'll see. We'll see.
You should do it and give us a full report because we need something to talk about.
Yeah, that is true.
I do get Hard Rock comps now yet. So I got a mailer. It's been a long time.
Do you think that someone at Hard Rock listens to the podcast and are like, we should give this guy like, you know, Monday through Wednesday comps or something?
It is Monday through Thursday, I think.
Oof. If you don't even get Sunday, that is like your real bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, no, I think it's totally just them giving rooms to anybody because the people are not coming out in droves. Especially with all the states on the quarantine list. I think that's not helping. And that doesn't really affect all that much. It's not like I would really be able to go on a weekday anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be back in the system. It's nice.
You probably let them know you're alive. Did you go in and play like one hand of video poker online or something?
I did set up an online account, but I don't think I even ever deposited anything. I just did their get
that's
some
like
free spins
the
every day.
absolute minimum of letting them know you're alive and look
That's
at
true.
the rewards you've gotten.
I know. Comped rooms. We'll ignore any caveats on those comped rooms. Just comped rooms. That's all you need to know.
All right, so if you want to reach out to us or any of our other listeners and read Justin S.'s great Facebook post, do so at facebook.com/group/doforwin. Find all of our amazing content and buy a shirt at doforwin.com. You can reach out to Craig on Twitter at doforwin or me at Kyle Askin and send Craig questions to doforwin@gmail.com. What do you think of that closing, Craig?
It's perfect. Nailed it. 10 out of 10.
I'm a man of my word.
So should we talk about some Boardwalk Empire season finale?
Yeah. I didn't know it was the season finale. I went to my shady internet locales and fired up episode 11 again and got a bunch of spam and viruses. And then I'm like, I've already seen this episode. So then I had to close it down and go back out and find episode 12. But I did it.
So what happened in the season finale?
It was kind of a lot, I think. I think they moved the story forward quite a bit. The big plot points are that Margaret and Nucky, after being officially broken up early in the episode, and, you know, Margaret had moved out of the house that Nucky got her and was living with Warren G. Harding's lady friends. They're walking through the graveyard. Margaret sees the tombstone of Nucky's son, who Margaret did not know existed, so confronts him about it, and to make a long story short, they're kind of back together at the end of the episode. Nucky and Rothstein make up. Basically, Nucky agrees to use his political connections to get all the charges against Rothstein dropped, and in return, he gets a fat stack of cash and the location of all the D'Alessio brothers, who all meet unfortunate ends. You know, Nucky gets a nice press conference out of it. Election day happens, so both Ed Bader and Warren G. Harding win their respective races.
As we knew would happen.
Indeed.
The history scholars that we are.
The episode ends, you know, after Nucky kind of running roughshod over everyone, ends with the Commodore and Jimmy and Eli, Nucky's brother, all kind of planning Nucky's undoing, I think.
Yeah.
There are definitely three people who are not very impressed with Nucky right now. And perhaps the biggest, most important thing in the episode, we find out that our good friend Nelson has made Lucy pregnant.
Yeah. You kind of knew that was coming, right?
I didn't. I had no idea.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that's where we were going with that. Agent Van Alden, who was thinking about quitting FBI and, you know, buying into some feed store or something. And his wife said, I don't know about that. I like being married to a federal agent. Yeah. I don't know how much you like being married to an adulterer with a child out of wedlock.
These things can happen, Craig. Don't be so judgy.
That's true. That's a good point.
Especially to, like, and frankly, the adultery is like the least of, you know, the concerns about Van Alden. The murder seems like more of a problem. I
do love that, like, the series starts with him as being like the most by the book straight shooter. Everyone else is going to hell if they don't follow the rules and follow specifically my rules and the religious rules and all that stuff. And then he's just like, we get the sense that he's like creepy. And then we also see that he's like totally off the rails in lots of other ways, killing his guy he supervised, Agent Sepso. knocking up Lucy, drinking all the booze, not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the main plot points. Any major thoughts about the episode? I know you took copious notes.
I took no notes, as always. It was a good episode. I don't know. Enjoyed it.
I thought it was a little predictable in the, like, that all the D'Alessio brothers got killed.
I mean, what's his name? Is this is looking good for him now.
Yeah.
Doyle.
Yeah, Mickey. Still alive.
He's making it. He's beating the odds.
I didn't think there was any chance he was getting through this season. On multiple fronts.
My favorite part of the episode, this was kind of an ongoing theme, is just how aggravated, frustrated, annoyed Lucy was with Warren G. Harding's lady friend the whole time. Obviously, she thinks she's like the dumbest human being alive.
Margaret, you mean?
And it's very obvious. Yeah, Margaret. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. That was my favorite part. Definitely, like twice. The look on Margaret's face when the Harding mistress says like, "Oh, you're gonna come visit us in the White House," and like,
right.
She pulls. They make this cake where like if you get a ring out of the cake, you know it's supposed to be you're gonna get married, and like Harding's mistress pulls the ring out of the cake, and again the look on Margaret's face is just like, wow, oh boy, this poor lady.
It's good.
Here's a question. I thought based on the last episode that they were hinting that Jimmy's mom was poisoning the Commodore.
I was very confused by that, and it still am confused by this story. It doesn't seem totally right. I suspect there's going to be more to it, but yes, they kind of set up the housekeeper or whatever, that servant. That seems like not a great word, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was its 20s.
I think
doing the poisoning. I don't think that happened. I think it was James' mom, but I suspect we'll learn more.
So I have the big question mark. Do we really think the servant was poisoning the Commodore? I think no. Yeah. In that they also didn't arrest her, and then Nucky gave her a bunch of cash to go move somewhere else.
Yeah, no. It actually makes even more sense that it was definitely Jimmy's mom then, because Nucky would look out for her. So,
any other notes?
No.
Moving on to next season.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in season 2, episode 1.
Yeah, obviously the big plot point is: are we going to get a Jimmy and the Commodore and Eli versus Nucky thing? Watch the first episode. Jimmy's going to be like, no, I actually am not going to go against Nucky. And then Eli's going to like slink back now that he's the sheriff again. And the whole thing will just be quashed. Like one episode. That's what would happen if it was a USA series, not an HBO series. They would set up some huge thing.
Why do you hate Monk?
And it would be solved. I'm thinking more like Suits and White Collar.
I actually have seen none of those shows.
Oh, yeah. I thought Suits was very good. I mean, no, sorry, I thought White Collar was very good. I thought Suits was good for like a season. And then I'll
tell you what I used to watch on USA. A lot of Monday Night Raw. When I was in high school. But
I thought you were going to say Wings reruns.
No, only Monday Night Raw. That's the only thing I had eyes for.
I believe it.
I watched a lot of pro wrestling in high school.
That qualifies you to be a gambling podcaster.
There is a certain correlation between gambling podcasters and love of pro wrestling. I will say that. But yeah.
Also, like hockey Twitter is like massively overlapping with wrestling Twitter. So I have like the gambling podcast Twitter and the hockey Twitter, which don't really seem to overlap that much. But not the wrestling Twitter, but I get all the wrestling Twitter from both of those things, just everything.
But in high school, every Monday night I'd watch Raw, and Thursday night I'd watch SmackDown, and Friday night I'd watch ECW.
Yeah.
So,
interesting.
I was quite the cool guy.
ECW. What even is ECW?
Extreme Championship Wrestling, I think. It was based out of Philadelphia.
Sounds
it was
awesome.
It wasn't traveling, it was just like only a Philadelphia thing. But it was on TNN. Thanks, Ted Turner.
So I remember when like NWO was big, and there was
I never watched WCW, never, absolutely never. So,
and there was a summer where like every kid at I don't know if it was Six Flags at that point or if it was like Adventure World. It's probably still Adventure World down in wherever Prince George's County, Maryland.
I know where that is.
The listeners don't.
I was there like I don't know, a month and a half ago or something, 2 months ago. Getting a COVID test in the parking lot.
That's amazing. Great. I was about to say during
it was
COVID.
Negative. Yeah, it was negative.
You go to that amusement park and just like every kid's in an NWO shirt. And a friend of mine was like, I honestly thought it was a summer camp because so many kids have that shirt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, wrestling was huge back in the day. It still is pretty big, I think.
Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I know about the NWO. No, I never watched WCW.
Once you get past like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm out. I just don't know any of the names. Diamond
one of
Dallas
those guys
Page.
was Razor Ramon was his WWF name.
I know. I only know Razor
Diesel?
Ramon Hernandez, former catcher for the Orioles.
He was not as good as was expected. He
He
was
had
less,
like
less,
half a good season.
less of an underachiever as Javi Lopez, who was incredible before he joined the Orioles and absolutely abysmal on the Orioles. But
I think he also had like half a good season.
yeah,
This is Orioles talk.
he's no Geronimo Hill. What can I say? Where everyone expected him to be terrible and he performed as expected.
Fernando Lunar. These are the names that you can expect to hear.
Whew. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. I assume that entire last segment will be cut, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Oh no, this is a short episode. We're keeping everything.
Yeah, that last 5 minutes could probably just be removed. But
I'm not taking
we'll
it
see.
out.
You can leave it in. Do what you like.
All right. So one thing I did not mention in the Boardwalk Empire talk is when Margaret comes back, she sees Nucky in the mask, and she says that it suits him and calls him a dapper villain in a Sunday cereal, which is a line in a Coheed and Cambria song. And that cannot be a coincidence. The song was after that show.
Dave watched Boardwalk Empire?
So I thought that was amazing. And then I had to stop the episode for 4 minutes so I could listen to that song.